All right, so tonight, we going to talk about playing games that you can't win. So there's a lot of different systems, cultural systems, and I think the most important, the ones that we really don't understand, are really the ones that nobody's in charge of. Those are the ones that we need to be looking at, those systems. So if something's not going right, we'll just take maternal health care as the example for this one. So when I was, even before I was ready to have kids, I knew that I wanted to do it differently than most of the population. So my sister sent me into a midwifery or a labor center to find some disposable diapers one year. And when I went in, I just decided that that's the way that I wanted to give birth when I have kids. So it just doesn't make a lot of sense to me that we're one of the richest countries in the world and our health care is the worst. And why is it so horrible for us to just have children, for us to be able to deliver kids? I think the maternal death rate is, if you're a black woman, you're 3 to 4 times more likely to die in childbirth than any other women. So that's a problem for me. When I heard those statistics, I'm like, whoa, wait a minute, hold up. Why do I want to be in there with them? I don't. I think we started giving births in hospitals in the 1920s, and I think that the story that I understand is that Europe or some other country was having what they call twilight births, where the women were put to sleep and the baby was delivered so that the woman didn't have to go through all the stress of childbirth. So we decided here in this country that we wanted to do the same thing, and that's what happened. Before we started having children regularly in hospitals, we gave birth with midwives. There was midwifery. Why did I change? Because it was so effective and efficient, and the people giving the care looked just like us. Somebody had a problem with it, and guess who? Just guess. The hospital system. Even the hospital system takes money from, was it Abbott? I know Abbott is one. So Abbott is one of the companies that makes formula, and they decided that they have the authority and the money to go ahead and help hospitals design the maternity ward. So naturally, they put the babies and the mommies completely across from each other so that they can go ahead and start giving them formula so that we're not breastfeeding like we once did. And breastfeeding is just one topic I know our culture is sensitive to, and that is because of the history, the past that we have here as far as like wet nurses and things of that nature. But for me, when I heard those things, that we were feeding other children and not being able to feed our own, that said to me, must be worth something. How important could it be? So instead of going the negative route or the woe is me, I'm gonna try to do something different. So I breastfed both of my children. Both of them nursed. My oldest was 23 months when he stopped breastfeeding, and my youngest is about 18 or 19 months now, and he literally hasn't had a boob in 3 days. So we're winding down there. But it's just crazy, all these corporations that are making these decisions for women, and we don't even understand them. Like, we don't even know what's going on. We just say, okay, everybody else is doing it this way, let me do it that way too. So I just think that we need to be more involved with these huge decisions. We need to ask more questions. We need to know more facts. We need to understand history. But giving birth to my little boys at home is probably the most freeing, the most powerful thing I've ever done with my life. Like, y'all, I'm having kids without any intervention, basically. Like, I didn't have any drugs, any chemicals, any nothing. Like, I went into labor at 12:01 p.m. or a.m., and I was done at 6 a.m. The second birth, I went into labor at 10:43, and I delivered around 6. The first time I had a midwife and a doula, so I had extra support with the doula on top of my husband. But then my second birth, It was just me and my midwife assistant showed up about 4 minutes before I actually delivered my second son. So it was crazy. But it's such a learning process, and I hate that a lot of women don't get to have that. And they more so feel powerless instead of powerful at that time and experience in their life. It's just, you know, when you're healthy and there's nothing, crazy going on, there is a better way. Just because most people are doing it this way doesn't mean you have to do it that way. So I guess back to corporations hopping in the middle of everything. So yeah, Abbott did that. They're not the only one. That's not the first story or the last. But yeah, like the maternal birth rate is horrible for black women. And if I can't help everybody, I'm going to make sure that I do what I can, and then I'm going to spread the word to those closest around me. So I actually became a certified doula. I don't practice. I don't want to take anything away from those women because y'all, they be on the street out in the morning delivering babies, like dealing with mommies, and I don't want to take anything away from them, but I am certified. And I guess I went through that class because I understood how important this information was. And even if I'm not, getting my hands dirty in the field, I do want to be able to advocate for women and to help them advocate for themselves in this way. So that's where I got the certification there. We don't understand enough things. Like that was so important to me. Me and my husband took an evidence-based birth class, which was super eye-opening. They talk about all kind of stuff, but the cascade of interventions was one of the main things that I understood from that class. And basically it says once you're given one thing in a hospital, just be prepared for a couple other things after that, because one thing's going to set off this, and then you're going to need that. And, you get Pitocin, and then the baby's heart rate's all up, and then you need a C-section. Like, it's just a cascade of events at that point. So I understand, the doctor don't want to be in there for 6 hours, with one woman while she's in labor about to give birth to one child. That don't do much for their pocket, their bottom line. So, they in and out. They come at the window they can, and they out of there. They're ready to give you a C-section so that they can schedule and have some control over your body and you laboring. Like, it's just, anywho. At the end of the day, it's all about really understanding where your values are and what your goals are. Because I believe money can buy happiness. That's just me. If you know what you're doing and you're aligned with what you're doing with your money, how you're earning and how you're spending it, I believe truly money can buy happiness. There's nothing, you got to do it right. That's all. You got to be good in your mind first. You got to understand managing money. You can't be living above your means. You got to give some back. You got to learn how to make your money work for you. Because at the end of the day, I saw this. Myron Golden said it. He said, we all know about the get rich quick scheme. But all of us sitting around chilling on the get money slow over your whole lifetime scheme. Like, ain't nobody talking about how messed up that is. Who that patient? Are you that patient? Or are you just going along with the flow because everybody else is? You just working 40 hours a week because everybody else is. You're sending your child to school because that's what everybody else is doing. You're having your kids at the hospital because that's what everybody else is doing. Like, at the end of the day, I don't want to tell you what to do. That's not what I'm here for. I have no clue what you should do at this point. But I want you to advocate for yourself, and I want you to make better, more informed decisions. Like, quit giving all these faceless systems your power. Don't lay down and just go with the flow. Like, just because it's 2024, you want to act crazy now? We can do better. When we know better, we got to do better, and that's what I did. Now, I'm going to get to the second point. I'm 36 years old. I have 2 children, a 4-year-old and a 1-year-old. And I always get the question, when you and your husband going to try for a little girl? When y'all having more kids? No, we good. So We got 2 little boys. Oh my God, mid-40s. Normal people, normal average Americans. I work part-time. He works full-time. We're married. We've been married for, it'll be 5 years in January. That's it. He had a vasectomy in January. Y'all, kids, as much of a gift as they are, there's financial stress, there's postpartum, there's unequal workloads around the house. 2 is enough. We good. And I mean that. Like, I don't need no little girl trying to do nobody's hair. I just learned how to do my hair like 4 years ago. So, yeah, just you have to dig deep. You're going to have to dig deep and figure out what it is that makes you happy, what keeps you up at night. What can you do? If you can't change it for everybody, you're going to have to work it out on yourself first. So just when it comes to living your life, you're the best person to do it. You know the best and the most about your situation. You know your past. You know where you want to be in your future. You know what things are on your mind now, what thoughts. You know what's important to you, what's coming up in the next couple months, what's coming up in the next couple years. Focus on that. Focus on you. You don't have to do it the same as anybody around you's doing it. You don't have to do the same thing as everybody around you doing it. If they all doing it the same way. Focus on making yourself happy, building your family, building your future, creating wealth. Focus on that. However you got to do it. Because at the end of the day, Lord, the music, the school system, the movies, the news, all that at the end of the day is distracting. Okay? It's distracting. And fear and doubt are used to control people. I mean, that's all it is. People who are not strong in self-knowledge and knowing who they are, they're easily puppeted. And at the end of the day, I ain't no puppet. And you ain't either. You too smart, I'm too smart, we too smart. So, put your big girl panties on, get your goals in order, align your goals and your money with your values, make a plan. 2025 coming up in the next 2 months. We almost in a new year. Start preparing for that new year now. Don't wait till the first and make a plan then and start inching your way towards your goals. Start now. Do it today. Don't wait for Monday. Don't wait for the first of next month. Don't wait for the first of next year. You got to take it into your own hands. So with that, that's all I got for you tonight. I'll be back tomorrow.